Snap back, four-man rush. Caleb with a double move, throw down left sideline. DJ Moore inside the 5, end zone, touchdown, touchdown Bears. Wow. Say it again. Wow.
Do you feel the shaking a little bit? I do. I've done 31 games in the stadium. It's the first time I feel it shaking like this.
Packers with 7 seconds left. Now he throws to the end zone, and it's dropped. The interception dropped, but it doesn't matter. Game is over. Game is over. The Bears have come from all the way behind. All the ghosts of 15 seasons has been released into this cold January night. Bears are going to the divisional round, baby.
The Bears' historic season continues. We're going to do our best to recap everything that happened last night on the lakefront. Like many of you, I'm still at a loss of words. I still can't believe what I saw last night. Hi, everyone. I'm Luke Cadellis. Welcome to Bears Game Night Live, brought to you by LRS. Let me bring in my partners here on the show. Joining me in studio, Tom Thayer and Jeff Joniak. What's left to say after that open? I saw the video of you guys in the booth on the DJ Moore catch. And you guys have been working together in the Bears radio booth now. This is your 29th season. Have you ever seen a comeback like that by the Bears?
Well, they just said in the highlight, I've never felt the stadium shake.
Was it shaking?
It was shaking, legitimately.
Even the 85 team?
Well, it was Old Soldier Field, and I was down on the field. This is the first time in the booth that I sat up there, and after that catch, and it continued till the end of the game and a little bit beyond. It was the most exciting Soldier Field that I've ever seen.
No one wanted to leave. I took a moment to just take it all in, and strangers are hugging, dancing, jumping up and down, high-fiving, just euphoria. And it almost was, as others have written, cinematic. The whole thing. I mean, you had everything a movie would want, from protagonists to, you know, the comeback kids, the clutch play of Caleb Williams, the dramatic, the unthinkable throws that he continues to make that few can, and this resilience that Ben Johnson, this vengeance that he has brought to the Bears is it's special.
Just when you would think you had seen it all, with the big catch, the big throw to DJ Moore
at the same time, maybe
season, last night.
At the same time, maybe we shouldn't be surprised. This is who they are.
Well, bring on the Rams, because we got more. We'll talk about the L.A. Rams coming up later on in the show. You guys ready to look back at the highlights from last night?
Would love to.
Come on, let's get into it. Let's start in the second half. Bears trailing 21-3. Jeff, I'll start with you. Colston Loveland made big catches all night long.
#1 receiver on the Bears this season, and he's not just a tight end. He's a wide receiver and a tight end body, runs great routes, great separation, great concentration. He did it all in this game.
Bears settle for 3. Tom, Bears offense stalls in the red zone.
Well, look at how Caleb's throwing the ball. He's in a retreat position, and he's got to throw off of his back foot. It interferes with your accuracy.
Fourth quarter, Bears trail 21-9. Jeff, here come the cardiac Bears.
Well, this is what they love, this fourth quarter. Great blocking, and DeAndre Swift running with purpose, getting those dirty yards, and the comeback is underway.
But, Tom, the Packers respond.
Right, and this is what made me nervous. You see the Green Bay Packers, you know they weren't just going to stop in their tracks, that they were going to be as aggressive as they needed to be, and then you saw a great run after the catch by young Golden.
But Brandon McManus misses the extra point. So crucial at the very end of that game. So, Jeff, let's move forward. 4th down, season on the line. Here comes Superman.
Okay, here comes Isaiah McDuffie. And there's going to be still shots. We're going to break this down. Over the top, perfectly placed to Roma Dunze. The concentration, he knew he was going to get popped. Caleb knew he was going to get popped.
Few plays later, Tom, Caleb finds Olamide Zaccheaus.
Right. You know, unlikely character in this game. I don't know how many catches he had, but he came up with the biggest catch at the biggest moment.
How about this big two? Jeff?
Hey, you go to your primary receiver in this situation, people you can trust, and he trusts Colston.
And I'm going to stay with you, Jeff. Packers look to add on, but McManus misses his 3rd kick of the night.
I saw a guy at his home, he had a fan, and he was saying it's going to go wide right. And so he did it from his house.
He was blowing it wide right. Bears get the ball back, and Tom, What a play call from Ben Johnson to take their first lead.
Just amazing. You know, Ben Johnson, we all know about his creativity, but then he goes to the most loyal and responsible receiver they have in DJ Moore. He's been waiting for that moment his entire career. Just a great opportunity. But, you know, it was more of Caleb faking to the right first and then readdressing his sight line to the left and delivering a perfect pass.
Good call there, Tom. Bears led by 4, 7 seconds left. Jeff, walk me through the final play.
This made me nervous. I'm like, okay, the game's going in slow motion. What are we doing? He's whining around. I thought he was going to take off and run. Can't really focus on anything on the back end until now. From our perspective, it looked like interception, but I think it's short-hopped Gordon in the end zone. Absolute euphoria. I think everybody was stunned at that point. Just relieved, I guess is a better word. Relief. And look at poor Ben Johnson. I mean, my goodness, this guy is beloved by his team. And Caleb Williams rose to the occasion once again, soaking it all in, adoring crowd, and wow, this guy is a special, special player.
Yeah, Williams giving the game ball inside the locker room to Ben Johnson was a special moment. Bears with their biggest comeback win in franchise history, their first playoff win since 2010. Yeah, Caleb having fun on the Amazon set. First time they have beaten Green Bay in back-to-back games since 2007. They advanced to the divisional round, 31-27 winners. Take a look at the numbers, the offensive numbers, brought to you by LRS. Tom, Bears flipped the script, didn't they?
Right, and I'm glad they put this graph up there because you need to see the difference between what they did in the first half and what they're able to do in the second half. It's incredible how many yards they are put up, how many points they're able to put up, third down conversions, just everything they did in the second half.
All right, this one's going to blow your mind, courtesy of our Director of Research and Statistics on the broadcast, the great Doug Coletti. In 3 games against the Green Bay Packers, 3 games, the Bears had 19 offensive possessions. Do you know how many times they had the lead in those 19 possessions? 0. 0. And they beat them twice.
I hope you pay Mr. Coletti well. That's all I have to say. A player that helped the offense in the second half, we already saw him at work. Colston Loveland finished with a career-high 137 receiving yards, second most by a Bears player in postseason history. That's why he's your player of the game.
Right. You know, back-to-back weeks player of the game. Last week it was Colston and Cole. This week it's Colston as well. You know, when you look at Colston Loveland and where he's going, look at the innocence of the routes. The thing about it is when you throw this ball to Colston, he is a big frame catcher. But if it goes off of his fingertips, it goes harmlessly out of bounds. There isn't the threat of an interception. And even Colston, when you look at his proximity to the sideline, look where he's at. He's going to catch it. If it bounces off his hands, it's going to go out of bounds innocently enough. So I think when you have his type of catching radiance and then they try to separate the type of coverage they use on him, you never lose sight of him. He's a 6'6" target down there, and just Caleb is able to throw strikes to him. And when you use his catching ability towards the sideline, he's going to be able to catch it, get out of bounds, and stop the clock. And we all know what this two-point conversion meant. And you talk about trust to a rookie at this point in the season for one of the most meaningful plays of the day. Look at that. Colston does an unbelievable job knowing where he's got to be, and Caleb delivers.
All right, Loveland, first rookie tight end with 100-plus receiving yards in a postseason game since Keith Jackson, 1988 divisional round. Here's Loveland's numbers the last 3 games, quickly becoming Caleb's favorite target. 15 of his 24 receptions going for first downs. That's why Kevin Byard now calls him, Jeff, third and Colston.
Yeah, I love that.
I like that.
115 of his yards in the second half, including those 3 corner routes that Tommy broke down. Tough out on a corner route with a 6'6" tight end. 21 years of age, by the way.
Yeah, good luck. All right, we need to take our first time out. Coming up, as my partner Jeff Joniak says, the Iceman cometh, the Iceman taketh away. Caleb Williams would not let his team lose last night. We talk about his big night next here on Bears Game Night Live.
Bears Game Night Live is brought to you by LRS, Blue Moon, United Airlines, Hollywood Casino, Athletico, and Advocate Healthcare. The Bears wild card match.
said, it's the, haven't beaten, Green Bay or whatever since whatever, right? Talk heavy. Look at this guy right here. First playoff win. Everything he's done for us as a coach, everything the other coaches have done for us. And it started with him, with bringing in everybody and all of that, right? And for me personally, he's been, get emotional. For me personally, he's been monumental in my life so far. Yeah. And, So, to his first playoff win as a Chicago Bear.
And what a great moment, brought to you by Athletico Physical Therapy. Welcome back here. Luke Canellis alongside Tom Thayer and Jeff Joniak. Powerful stuff. You can see how much it means to not only Caleb Williams, but this team, Ben Johnson's leadership, right?
You can hear the emotion in his voice. It's almost bringing him to tears, and it would be hard to sit there and give that same speech with the appreciation that he's shown to the head coach and the leader of that entire room there.
Well, they all wanted to be coached hard. They said it over and over again, and that's what Ben does. He has certain standards. They got to be met. And it's belief also. That word is very powerful in that building. Believe that we're going to win. And it wasn't there early in the season. It had to be developed, and it downloaded. And these guys were hungry to win, and the two together created what we have right now, a team that is quite dangerous.
All right, Jeff, we're talking about Caleb Williams. I want you to go back to that play. 4th and 8, I think about 5 minutes left to play in the game, and Caleb Williams comes up with arguably right up there with that, big-time pass to DJ Moore in the second regular season game against the Packers. That 4th and 8 pass was pinpoint.
They got the Jumpman logo on him now, right? Michael, with the way if you take still shots, his feet are dangling off the ground, okay? I don't know how he did it. I don't know where he gets the torque. I don't know what he does. But Caleb Williams, this play is going to go down as one of the all-time most important plays, being chased by McDuffie, falling down. We've seen him do this, right? But the pinpoint accuracy on the throw, under heat, on a 4th and 8. If we look at it closer here, if you stopped it in midair, you'd see his feet dangling off the ground with his... Look at how he squares up. That's the key. You got to square up, right? Almost impossible to do. And then this DeAndre Swift, great job. He just didn't go out of bounds. He kept working for the sideline and developed a nice little getaway run there. Vitally important. And, hey, great job running away from Edger and Cooper. That was a very important play as well. So there's the Iceman stuff. So it just occurred to me this morning. I'm sitting there trying to develop some notes or whatever. So 15 years since the Bears won a playoff game, right? There's 15 seasons, 15 reasons you could break down as to why they won this game. And that throw to number 15, Rome Odunze, it's this numerology thing. And then I had Sylvie go right back at me. He said, hey, down 18, number 18, Caleb. I mean, it's just some things are just meant to be, and that was meant to be.
Absolutely. I want to just talk quickly about Caleb's historic season. It continues to set the franchise postseason record last night with 361 passing yards. A lot of things, Tom, had to go right for the Bears, and they can thank Brandon McManus for some of those things.
Right. So, I get on kickers more than anybody, but I really appreciate what Cairo did with his big kick in the game. But when you really look at the points that were missed on behalf of the Green Bay Packers, I know it was a difficult kicking night. The wind was up. The wind was up. The temperatures were cold. He was having a difficult time in pregame with his kicks. I think he really lost a lot of confidence. But look how close these kicks are. They're almost brushing the uprights. And when you talk about field goals, you talk about extra points. 7 points missed by the kicker. And then you think about the big kicks that Cairo had. It is a shame, but listen, man, I'm a Bears fan, so
we'll take it.
I'm not going to be sympathetic about it. And there's Cairo's big kick.
And he kicked in the same conditions, but he hit all 3 of his. And he had 3 in the last game against the Packers. So, hey, man, a guy who's got the best kicking percentage in Soldier Field history is Cairo Santos.
You know, we talk a lot about the operations of a kick. If you go back and you look at the snap and hold of Green Bay, there was a little inefficiency there. When you look at the kicks, the snap, kick, and hold for Cairo, it was perfect. And that's what you need to have in kicks of that extreme.
McManus had made 13 straight field goals before he had missed those 2 against the Bears. We need to step aside. When we come back, how about that Bears defense in the second half? We show love to the guys on D next here on Bears Game Night Live.
And the blue moon.
Oh, that is a delicious.
Welcome back here to Bears Game Night Live, brought to you by LRS. Luke Cadallis, Tom Thayer, Jeff Joniak. We are at our Fox 32 studios in downtown Chicago. Jeff, tale of 2 halves, and the Bears made Green Bay quarterback Jordan Love, they made him uncomfortable in the second half.
And
Tell me what they did.
That was one of the keys, obviously, because Jordan Love entered the game as the #1 rated quarterback in terms of quarterback rating in the NFL with no pressure. And he didn't have a lot of pressure in the first half, and so he did very well on 3 drives that started the game. But in the second half, the Bears put him on the move, made him throw off his back foot. They brought several blitzes. The pressure rate went from 18% in the first half to 32% in the second half, and it was creativity. There were stunts. Booker and Sweat working hard. Sweat got himself a game ball for his efforts. You got Jarrett with some pressure as well. And they just wouldn't let him leave the pocket, and he kept backing up instead of moving up in the pocket. And what they always say, look, there were guys coming from every direction. I thought Booker had himself a very nice second half, Tommy.
They did. You know, because it was a combination of the pass pressure they were putting on and the run-stopping opportunities they took advantage of.
Right, and here's a big play by Sweat. He was very tuckered out at this point, and I don't know what would have happened, where that ball was headed, but Love looked like he had something brewing, and I just thought that the pressure that they came with in that second half was quite significant.
Can you see the numbers there, Jeff? Because the Packers in the second half, all their punts came in the last 2 quarters.
Right. By the way, the Bears did not punt. That was interesting. We never talked about that. Yeah, 4 punts in the second half. The yards didn't feel like they made such an impact. That one drive that they did get on the board with the golden touchdown run, but keeping them out of the end zone was key. If you're going to give up yards, don't give up points.
Speaking of yards, Tom, Josh Jacobs, their terrific running back, he had more rushing attempts than yards in the second half.
Amazing. Listen, he averaged over 4 yards a carry in the first half. And then I think it was a priority that you had to get this running game stopped and then put a little bit more pressure on Jordan Love. And then when you look at the defense was able to do to Josh Jacobs, you take a look at these carries. He had no room. There was penetration into the backfield by the time he was trying to get to the point of attack. And you mentioned he had 7 rush attempts for 6 total yards. And, you know, I was a little worried about the all-blue uniforms, but I liked him because you can really see the blue uniforms moving up the field and into the backfield against the backdrop of the white uniforms. And so these guys were on the attack mode, and they know that they got to stop Josh Jacobs if they're going to try to win the big picture, and that's winning the game. So they did a great job against them.
Going into that game, Bears all-time were 0-6 in the all-Navy uniforms.
Wow,
and they
I
had
didn't know
lost 4 of those 6 to the Green Bay Packers. You touched on it. A lot of different looks defensively, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, this is a guy who was a defensive back, Dennis Allen at Texas A&M. He loves deploying defensive backs, and he put a number of them out there. And Kyler Gordon played 44 snaps as it wound up. There were bodies all over the place that they had. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 right there. And, you know, you got 4 guys in the pattern. You're taking all the lanes away. That's making indecision, and now you're able to put pressure on the quarterback. So hats off to Dennis Allen for creating a lot of looks, exotic looks. Never knew what was coming. They were blitzing Britzker quite a bit, and the coverage was a lot better. So they had the 3 3-and-outs or 4 3-and-outs in that second half. They weren't eating a lot of clock. That allowed the Bears to come in. You get these comebacks. Certain things have to happen exactly the way they happen, and it laid out exactly the way it happened for the Bears to get the comeback win.
All right, we need to take our final timeout. When we come back, we are going to preview next week's NFC Divisional round against the LA Rams. Comes your way next here on Bears Game Night Live.
Bears Game Night Live is brought to you by LRS, Blue Moon, United Airlines, Hollywood Casino, Athletico, and Advocate Healthcare. The Bears.
One question, how are the Bears going to stop Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams?
I think those exotic defensive looks that Jeff just described are very useful against a team that throws the ball like that.
Defensively, they're very talented. They'll create pressure. It'll be a big challenge.
All right, that is going to wrap things up. For Tom and Jeff, I'm Lou. Bears win, as Tom always says. Have a good night, everyone. We'll see you next week. Bears Game Night Live, Divisional Playoff Edition.
These are the moments.
you